So yeah, this is my first video blog or vlog. I just decided to add something like this to my blog on the thought that it'd be a nice variety and a way to post things when I didn't really have time to write an essay. And I saw something that I thought was really interesting. That was Matt Ross's film Captain Fantastic. Had a couple of conversations with friends about this film who kind of liked it and weren't sure whether their reactions were legitimate or respectable. I think they all kind of shared with me the experience of having had really liberal parents who were kind of like wannabe hippies, like the character Viggo Mortensen plays, and uh, as you might know, he brings his 6 kids up into the mountains of the Pacific Northwest in order to homeschool them and give them a childhood off the grid. They do have some money, and so they're not starving, but they learn skills of mountaineers, and they're practically as fit as top athletes. But then the mother is taken out of the equation, and it becomes something else. The film and we are asked to judge this choice based on the re-entry into civilization. I liked this film. I thought it was sincere, and to a certain extent I thought it was about sincerity. But what I really respected was the way that the father was forced to relinquish power in the middle of the film. One of his sons is starting to feel like something was really wrong about this upbringing. Relian, they all have made-up names, and this son, he looks like he's about 12 or 13, is challenging his dad. He's saying, "You've brought us up to be freaks." And right in the middle of the film, where you think that Matt Ross is just going to condemn the father, Viggo Mortensen's character, as a villain, just make him into a dictator, he pivots. He uses the idea of giving up power on the part of the father to give the movie another direction to go in. I thought that that was a great way to handle the central confrontation in the film. Reminded me a lot of this paradox I've learned about teaching, which is that you actually gain authority, you gain power only when you give it to other people, only when you give it to others. You can't actually achieve power or authority in the classroom as a tyrant or a know-it-all, and I think that that's a big, important lesson to learn as a parent, too. There's this kid who's in rebellion, he's in open defiance, and only when the dad lets him have his way and admits to being wrong does this kid Relian feel like he has been heard, and he is then free to appreciate what his dad did do for him and his brothers and sisters. And what the dad did do was to give them the tools of independent thought and a perspective on the mainstream consumerist world that no one who actually grows up immersed in that world can have. And this is what makes the film able to have another meaningful act after that main confrontation. It enables the film to develop toward a new understanding in the family rather than become just a simple judgment. Viggo Mortensen is so beautiful. He's the thinking person's nature boy. His charisma reads as a kind of elemental connection to nature, and so it's his absolute transparency and sincerity in the role that makes it moving. The camera is not only making love to him, but also venerating the mountain landscape, and that's part of the film's sincerity too.